All right. Does everybody have me? Can you hear me? This is the real big deal. First comment we've got from Skew Raider. Cheers, 100. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for showing up to this very first one. Let's see here. This is kind of going to be a chat where I learn things. I'm on YouTube's platform right now, and I can already see as I'm looking at this that it's a pretty grainy platform. So I'm going to play, see what I get, all that good stuff. I'm going to try to learn how to show comments, and I'm also going to try to learn how to share the screen in this platform if it's even possible. We shall see. So let's see here. Let's party. Let's have some fun. What do we have? Ooh, expand menu. Nah, where's the fun in that? So let's see. Let's see. I am using, I don't know, honestly. It's just YouTube's, whatever YouTube's thing is, the webcam system. But thanks for checking, sir. Lucas James, thank you. Matthew, thanks again, man. Let's see. Awesome. You got a few. I appreciate that. Now, has anybody, here's the real question. Has anybody used the YouTube stream, like the YouTube software to try and pull this stuff off? Because right now, let's see here. Maybe if I do this, see pin. Oh, those are a lot of things that I don't want to do. It was like, hey, put users in timeout. And I'm going, nobody's being like that. We're all good. Let's see. Pop out chat. Wonder what that'll do. Oh, okay. Well, that didn't do what I wanted it to do at all. This is this can't be any fun for you guys right now. Let's see here. Live chat. All right, we got it. Well, that's not good, Lucas, but I appreciate the answer, man. Much appreciated. All right. You'll notice that I have glasses on. My vanity would preclude me from being able to read such comments. Let's see. I'm not sure I can do pop out stuff. Ooh, engage with your audience. Let's see what this says. No, that's just start a poll, all that. I even have a folder ready to go as far as showing stuff here. Let's see. 5 participants. Well, that's good. I appreciate that, guys. Much appreciated. But where's the fun in, me not being able to call up everything when you guys are talking about it? It's always fun. Let's see. I could add reaction. Well, we're going to play a little bit. Now, the topic for tonight, what I was going to talk about are just action figures, action figure photography, wherever the chat ended up taking us, all that good stuff. But I guess you guys will kind of direct it. One of the main reasons I was going to do this is to try and learn how to do it from a technical standpoint, to try and figure out how to make this thing work. And so far, I am failing miserably. But why don't we start with this? What are some figures that you guys are really excited about that are coming out sometime in the near future or that have maybe recently gone up for pre-order? See what we can get there. And you bet, Charlie. If only I could show off the, let's see here. Oh, the Casey Kasem. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've heard that I have a face for radio. Now, I just keep looking at all the menu, trying to figure stuff out. This is kind of, well, this is horrible. Just my lack of knowledge. Let's see. 1/12 Mr. Bean. That's awesome, man. I think that Mr. Bean looks really good. I don't know like the soft goods on them, they look a little loose, maybe like a little loose fitting. But the head sculpts, the portraits, all that stuff, that is Rowan Atkinson to a T. I'm pretty impressed with that thing. Let's see. The nameless one. Ooh, Master Panda. Okay, I've seen the panda. I'm trying to come up with the nameless one. But yeah, Memory Toys, their stuff is looking really good. One of the things I was going to bring up, if I can learn how to share the screen on this thing. Oh, got it. Okay, thank you, Skew Raider. I have seen that, and that is one freaky looking bunny. There's a lot of freaky looking bunnies out there right now, and it's kind of cool. I'm a big fan of the big scary bunnies, such as Captain Carrot, which I also have loaded up here. I'm not always in on McFarlane stuff, but that Captain Carrot, when I saw that, it just cracked me up. Let's see, what else can I figure out here? Oh, feedback. Share. I wonder. Okay, I'm going to click the share screen here, guys. And we're going to see, it just says share. No, that's just going to take me to sharing the link and all that stuff. McFarlane is always dropping fire. McFarlane stuff looks really good. I have to give it to them there. My main problem with McFarlane is that it always feels like their sculpts pretty much kill it. I'm on board with their sculpts. Their face sculpts I have a little bit of a problem with, and it always feels like there's just something about them that's unfinished. And if they could tie those things up, get those loose ends taken care of, ooh, that would be a line to beat. Now, every time they come across and decide, all right, we're going to do something really cool with this, and they release like an image of Captain Carrot, I'm thinking to myself, ooh, that looks really good. But how will the end product be? That's what always makes me nervous, because a lot of this stuff looks sweet and it doesn't end up panning out as well as we'd like. But I'm really pulling for McFarlane Toys to kind of make that turn. So they're releasing stuff that is always awesome. Their Wonder Woman, for instance, looks phenomenal. So we'll see. They might be on the right track, at least as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. The color. Ooh, I haven't seen the color variants of Veteran William. I definitely need to find those. Matthew, where are those hiding at? Do you know? Like, where's the pics? Let's see. Skew Raider, Captain Carrot. Yep. Jax 2. I don't know much about Jax. So let me know more about that. The loose collector werewolf, good lord, I want that thing. That thing is absolutely beautiful. I love how huge it is compared to everything else. I tend to collect in the 1/12 scale, so I think somebody said that thing's 9 inches tall. So that'll be phenomenal with all that stuff. See, I am keeping up with the chat, so I guess that's good. Let's see. McFarlane heads are generally too small. I do agree with that. It's more the sculpt, though. Like generally with comic proportions, I'm okay with slightly smaller heads. Slightly larger heads, that's where it gets dicey, but I'm okay with the slightly smaller heads. And McFarlane does nail it oftentimes, but their Supermans kill me. I need that perfect McFarlane Superman to try and rival my ultra snobby Mafex Hush Superman. Okay, what do we have here? Stepping it up. Yeah, McFarlane is definitely stepping it up. I'm impressed. I do like what I'm seeing. I think maybe they've turned a corner, but like I said, I believe that they've turned a corner before and it wasn't quite there. So I'm hoping they pull it off. But yeah. Oh, Animal Man. I forgot about Animal Man. He looks all right. I know the diaper looks a little crazy, but that's kind of a McFarlane thing too. Once they get that diaper figured out, game on. Oh, Richard E. Thank you very much. Liquid Below Zero for joining in. Guys, if you're not following this guy on the X, make sure you do. He puts up a lot of great pictures when it comes to kind of the more import type stuff. Very good stuff. Let's see. They are, yep, Skew Raider, I have to give you that. McFarlane is better than they were at the beginning. Although that first Superman still holds up. So we'll have to see. I really want them to come up with a Superman that can at least rival that one. And I love that we're seeing in kind of the deluxe packaging. I love that we're seeing a lot of extra hands and all that. I do wish, and this might just be me, so let me know in the chat. I do wish he'd get rid of the display stand and the card, and in the regular DC Multiverse line, I wish he'd get rid of the display stand and the card, honestly. Those things, I don't know. They don't add any value to me. I prefer that we got extra heads and hands and all that stuff. But I did see a video with McFarlane talking about that stuff and talking about how much he likes setting up things that are kind of more of a display format. So I don't hold it against him. It's just not necessarily my preference. All right, where are we at now? Cheers, sir. Let's see. Harry, I tend to agree. I do like what McFarlane's doing right now, but man, I would be so much more tempted to gamble on them and to try all kinds of other things if they were more 6-inch, 1/12 scale. That was one of those things that I think just business wise was a big miss. And I understand that McFarlane always makes 7-inch figures and all that, but man, I love mixing my figures together. That's one of the reasons that I really like MothX. I just took a picture recently with Spider-Man and Batman from MothX, and it was so much fun because I didn't have to get tricky with the camera and the angles and all that stuff. But yeah, hopefully they do something like that that aren't 6-inch like 5 POA or Batman 66, whatever they're doing. Whew, that's a lot of McFarlane talk. Hmm. What else do we got? Yeah, Skew Raider agreed. There are a lot of really big McFarlane figures that look good. I'm constantly tempted by Cygor. I have Violator. There's not a lot with the DC stuff that I've been tempted by. I mean, I've seen it and it looks really good, but because McFarlane Toys is kind of against a lot of the cuts for the articulation, we're not getting bicep swivel and we're not getting a lot more articulation in the torso area. And if you've been paying attention to my stuff, you know I'm an ultra picky guy. So there's that. But hopefully, if he starts really adding in a lot of that stuff, I could see me picking up a lot more of those things. Like his Lobo. I love the new Lobo that's coming out. If he had fists, he'd be a for sure. Right now, I'm kind of, I don't know. Like, I love the Space Hog. I love that he comes with Dog. I had the original DC Multiverse Lobo, and the one problem with him, again, was fists. This guy needs to throw down with Superman. So, anyway, me talking a lot. Let's see. Yeah, that Lobo bike is sweet. So what else do we got out there? How many of you are big time into the toy photography, into the action figure type shooting? Anybody out there that's a big fan of that? Because that's kind of where I'd like to steer Toypixx is I'd like to have it so that the North Star, I mean, the North Star is pretty much here, is helping people get better at their toy photography and helping smaller shops be able to use a lot of this stuff in their marketing materials. So that's kind of the thing with Toypixx. So what do we have here? Getting into it. Awesome, Skew Raider. I appreciate it, man. If there are any tips you're looking for specifically, make sure and let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you. Let's see. Oh, I don't have scary figures. I get that, man. Because I've been looking at that's one of the reasons that I'm looking at the Turtles of Grayskull is because while I love my collection, I don't have just generally goofy figures. But you're right, I also don't have scary figures. And I don't know anything about the Trick or Treat figure that NECA put out, but that looks pretty scary. And it's got a giant pumpkin head. So you could have that be scary and use that as Halloween decorations. Because, man, my stuff when it comes to Halloween is pretty weak sauce. I don't have much to go on when it comes to that stuff. Let's see. Matthew, yep. So if you guys haven't me, words, again, it's not just the recorded stuff. It's apparently live too. If you haven't followed Matthew Matson on everything, make sure you're doing that because He does. He posts tons of photos, and it's ridiculous the output. So I look at that and I'm going, man, I want to be able to do that, but I haven't gotten there quite yet. I've got my phone being a tool bag, so let's shut it off. All right, we are good there now. Let's see. Yep, only action figures. Good time, Matthew. Much appreciated, sir, for all the comments. Now, what else do we have going that we can fire off? Has anybody actually pre-ordered the bear from Mythic Legions yet? I haven't done it. I'm looking at them. I'm not quite there, but man, that thing looks good. And if I could figure out how to share the screen, I'm wondering, let's see. I keep looking at all the buttons trying to figure out what I'm doing when it comes to YouTube because there really wasn't much of a tutorial when it comes to this. Believe it or not, I did look for stuff. Let's see. Pop out dashboard. Let's see what. Oh, that is definitely not what I wanted. You guys saw me all confused. My screen just went totally white on there with stuff that I had no idea what I was looking at. Nicely done, Charlie. Nicely done. Because, yeah, that thing is looking beautiful. Let's see. Be Coke Bear. That's true. That thing is perfect for a cocaine bear. I've heard that in a couple spots. And I'm like, man, you don't even need to add any kind of paint. You can just sit there with a little bit of flour and do a little bit of that to its face and then clean it off if you want to later on. That thing would be absolutely perfect. Let's see. That's true. You know what, though, Skew Raider? If we did want to go with that kind of Coke Bear, he just needs a Santa hat, maybe a little sack to throw over his shoulder, whichever shoulder, throw some gifts in there, get some elves riding him. Fresh Monkey Fiction has some of those. That could be entertaining, though they don't really match with the aesthetic, perhaps. I don't know. Let's see. Good morning, Gunstar from Arizona, or good evening, good Lord. This is why I'm wearing the glasses. Thank you very much for joining in, man. I appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, they could do a good repaint of that bear. They could do several good repaints of that bear. I keep thinking, black bear style, and let's see, like polar bear style. I mean, polar bears are shaped slightly different. I mean, all bears are shaped slightly differently, but I think they could pull it off. I think that'd be sweet. But again, if you want a polar bear, just pull out flour and just keep throwing it on the bear. I don't know. Let's see. What's the one thing everyone wanting to do photography needs to get? Harry. Okay. So I would say most importantly, it depends on whether or not you're using a camera or if you're using your phone camera. And really, either way, I would say a tripod is a big deal because we all think we're perfectly steady, but if we have our exposure on too long, nobody's going to be able to hold perfectly still for, say, 2 seconds so they can get the right kind of photo. So a tripod is insanely helpful when it comes to this stuff. I'm trying to think of what else is crazy, like action figure specific. I know a lot of people probably think this is kind of cheating, but if you get a little bit of putty so you can stand your figures up, it's also highly useful if you need your camera at kind of a weird angle, if it won't fit the tripod and you're standing it on a table, then you can use the putty and kind of shape it however you want to stand the camera up. But you don't really put it on the camera body itself. There's all kinds of things. But yeah, mostly what you use the putty for is for standing up the figures in action poses like running and all that. Also, the real answer to your question for figure photography is you need the figures. But I'm assuming if you're watching this, you already have a few of those. Let's see. Okay. Guys, I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. This is fun to just sit here and play and try and figure things out. Let's see. Magician's Wax is really good. Ooh, I've actually never played with Magician's Wax. Does it serve the same purpose as what I was just describing for the putty? That would be good to know. Something else that's a big deal is lighting. Like you can take a photo with your cell phone, because obviously cell phones are way better than they used to be. But you can take a picture with your cell phone on even a weak setting, and if you have the figures lit perfectly, it's not going to matter. You're still going to be able to get a really good shot out of that. One of the things that I've been using a lot are panel lights from a company called Neewer. Now, that's just one company that makes them. There are a lot that make them. It's just the one I found first. So I'm going to look at others and see if I can find some different panel lighting for everything too. Plus, I've been at Best Buy a lot. I'm looking at all the LED color changing stuff. It's crazy. The photography, it gets pricey, but it's so much fun. All right. Ooh, clear and really sticky. All right. Better than putty or sticky tack. Thank you, Matthew. I will be checking that out. Let's see. What else do we have here? Gels. Ooh. Net screens. Let's see. I would say so when it comes to your, like I was just describing the panel lights, and if I'm not answering the question correctly, just leave me another comment. But when it comes to the panel lights, a lot of them come with gels that you put over the light. And so the set I've got right now has red and cyan and yellow. And I say cyan because it's not really what you think of as blue, but instead of the red being magenta, anyway, now I'm just going into nerd graphic design territory. So when it comes to those, I would use gels. And if you get those lights, those panel lights, you can oftentimes mess with the brightness. There's an app that I use on my iPad called Best Night Light. So look into that. With that, you can adjust the brightness on your iPad, obviously, and you can also create any color you want using that app. It's really good. It really works well, especially if, say, your character is firing off, say, like a purple blast or something. You can set up a light purple on that best nightlight and shine it right at them. So it looks like the light is reflecting, the light from the blast is reflecting onto the figure. So check out that best nightlight. Let's see. Panel lights. Oh, got it. Got it. Okay. All right, cool. Well, hopefully all that explanation helped out. Now I do have a bunch of figures sitting here because I was afraid that maybe I wouldn't be able to do the whole share screen thing, and well, that would be miserable. And in fact, right now it's kind of miserable because I'm just sitting there going, man, that's no fun. But I do want to show you guys what is up, bully. Thank you, man. Thanks for checking out the stream. Much appreciated. Guys, by the way, the first live stream I ever did, which is actually the only live stream I've done before this one, was on a channel called The Fat DeLoreans. They're based in Mexico. So if you can understand Spanish, they're a great one to check out. The guys have a lot of fun. I was on there once and they made me feel insanely comfortable. I don't speak Spanish worth a crap. So they had their guys translating for me, and it was just a great time. I don't know anybody in real life that gets into this stuff. So it was phenomenal getting to sit there and talk to those guys. It was just very cool. So if you haven't yet, make sure and you check them out. Now, oh man, thank you, Skew Raider. I appreciate it, man. Let's see, Charlie. Charlie, I thank you, man. I do plan on doing more live streams. I'm going to make sure I find something that I know how to work, though, because honestly, I was trying to find a tutorial on this, on how to share things and all that. Couldn't find it. And maybe it's something I did wrong in one of the initial settings. So I'll play and see what I can do. But I want to show off something that kind of, I think, goes under the radar. And I know not everybody here is the big time figure snob that I am, but it's why I buy so few figures, or at least part of why I buy so few figures is I get some of the pricier ones. But this guy right here, this is the Mafex Steel. I'm trying to see how he shows up here. There you go. That's not too bad. This is Mafex, I think, at their absolute best. So if anybody's got Mafex Steel, let me know what you're thinking, because truly, I see this and I'm blown away. The way that they engineered this, like these shoulder pads, they're kind of a hard plastic, but they really move out of the way very easily, which is awesome. The shine on him is perfect. It's wonderful. I'm a big fan. But yeah, I just wanted, I mean, I've got a bunch here that maybe I'll talk about depending on what we do with the stream here. But yeah, Steel is one of those figures that just really, it really gets me excited as a figure collector and a photographer. Because one of the things about him is his uniform is so reflective that it's fun to play with lighting on him. You can actually give him a steel look just by a subtle contrast adjustment when you're playing in Photoshop. Let's see. Oh man. Oh no. Let's see. All right. We aren't that far off. We're picky too. Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you, Skew Raider. I'm glad that you guys aren't far off. And I'm not just sitting here on an island. Thoughts on my figure of the year, man. All right. First off, what's that? Toypixx, it looks like. Or if I'm wrong, let me know. These glasses, I'm telling you, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. This is why they're not on for the when I'm recording my normal videos, is because I don't need to use them then. I can just be horribly vain. My thoughts on figure of the year right now, I'm looking at kind of breaking it out into, I believe Dorklair did something that was, he did best over $50 and best under $50. And I thought that was a good way to do it. And right now, my contenders when it comes to the over $50 are probably the MDLX Megatron, which I just happen to have right here. I love the MDLX line. He's got the same thing going on as Steel, where he has that really reflective surface, which makes him awesome for photography. And then you saw Steel, and I know some people aren't huge fans, but I think this is the best Magneto that's ever been made, and I'm not sure I ever need to get another Magneto. So the Mafex Magneto, the 30 MDLX Megatron, and the Mafex Steel are in the contention for top 10 so far for this year for the above $50. Below $50, I'm looking at a whole lot of Jada. I'm looking a little bit at Black Widow, but right now I've got Ryu, Chun-Li, and Fei Long, and they're all so good. And I don't have that much below 50. I will say Chuckles here just cracks me up. This is just a really fun figure. He might not win because of technical things, like having the ab crunch instead of the ball jointed waist. I'm telling you, picky here. But he's just a blast to mess around with. I haven't taken his beat up head off since I got him. It just cracks me up how goofy he looks. Like, hey, I just won. I mean, I got beat up bad, but I win. Yay, go me. So yeah, I think he's pretty good. All right, let's see. Let's make sure that I'm not getting too lost here. Let's see. On your macro lens. I don't have a dedicated macro lens, but I'll tell you there's a video I've been looking at working on that I just haven't done because, as sad as this is, I look at the numbers and I'm like, ooh, I just don't know that that video would do well. But you guys are here, you're listening. This might help you out. When it comes to close-up shots, what I use is just your standard 18 to 55 millimeter, because with a lot of comic book stuff, one of the things that I learned in How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way is you want to use a lot of diagonals to show off action. So I can get right up on a figure, turn the camera a little bit, get some diagonals, zoom way in on them, and that looks really good. Now, when it comes to, if you're thinking about the 90s, when it comes to, say, the Jim Lee strike and oppose type shots from, say, the X-Men in the 90s, right? Then I use a 75 to 100 millimeter telephoto lens. And that way it kind of brings forward the background because you want to make sure the space is totally covered with the background. And it kind of flattens out the figures that are on the image so you can see them all standing there like ready to throw down or, whatever. And the telephoto makes it so you can very easily blur the background and the foreground. So those are two different reasons that I would use different lenses. I would like to grab a macro lens. I just don't have one yet. I also want to play with a fisheye. I think that'd be kind of funny. But thanks for asking, man. Much appreciated. Apostle 22. Very nice. Let's see. Spaded one. McDysentery. McDysentery. Jada Toy Street Fighter is kind of taking over. May urge to keep collecting some older lines. Oh, my urge to keep collecting some older lines. I'm telling you, it'd be so much easier if I could just pop these out. Wonder what happens if I just click on them. Let's see. Nope, nope, nope. I'd have to put you all in timeout if I kept doing that. And, well, that's not working in my favor. What's going on? Adam Bomb. Thanks, man. Thanks for getting on here. All right. Yeah, the Street Fighter line, they're just so good. And for 25 bucks, I don't know how you beat them. Although I did see Unparalleled Universe's review of Chester Cheetah. That might be how you beat them. They themselves have to make the figures that beat themselves, because I'm not a Cheetos guy at all, but man, I want Chester. That thing looks great. I can't wait to pose him. I said in one of my other videos, because of the Turtles of Grayskull, I'm kind of oddly stoked about. I want to have Slacker and Chester Cheetah just hanging out. I think it would be hilarious. So, all right. See, now I'm tempted to get Streets or Steel, but I still gotta get Hush Soups and Nightwing. Dude, Liquid. You've seen that Hush Soups is back out there, right? I think Big Bad Toy Store still has them up for pre-order. And I think Nightwing's still fairly easy to come by, but I know they're really pricey. And you've got your own figures that you've been loading up on. So yeah, those are both top-notch figures. I have to say, for my Nightwing, his arm came, so it looked a little loose. And in my fixing it, which wasn't much of a fix, I just had to pop his bicep up. I knocked out the thing that holds his, whatever the stick is on his back, and now it doesn't fit quite right with a little bit of putty. That was my bad entirely, so it's nothing against the figure. But because of that being my bad, he's just not one that I mess with all that much. But doesn't mean he's a bad figure. I really like this thing. And I have to say, this is kind of how you do a simple figure. There's not much to his design, but man, when you can nail simple, you can nail the more complex stuff. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I have like a graphic design and artistic background, and nailing simple is a lot harder than nailing complex, at least for me. All right, what do we got now? Whoop. Old Magneto. Yeah, man. That Magneto's looking good, bully. You gotta check him out if you can. I don't know how crazy it is for you guys to import Mothex down there, but yeah, I'm a huge fan. I truly don't know that I need to get another one. Let's see. Jada Street. Yeah, yeah, man. Skew Raider. What do you think of the Chester Cheetah, guys? Like, is anybody kind of stoked about that kind of stuff? Does anybody want to see Jada do more of those things? Because, like I said, I was never the guy that was into any kind of food mascots, but that just looks like so much fun. And when I saw Wade just twisting and bending and articulating that thing, man, it just had me even more stoked. The only thing missing, I think, not from the figure, but the torso didn't seem to get a whole lot of bend at the waist. Still, it's Chester Cheetah. This guy isn't a ninja, so I think I'm going to be okay with that. And that Cheetos bag, that thing's going to be awesome when it comes to any kind of toy photos. I'm going to be a big fan of that. I don't know who I'm going to give it to. I mean, maybe Slacker. Who would be funny to give a Cheetos bag to? Let's see. Maybe Wicket. Maybe Wicket needs a Cheetos bag. That's right. Wicket's out here too, because there's something about the way that Black Series does Yub Nubs that cracks me up. They're phenomenal figures. And I keep saying phenomenal, but I don't know what other word to come up with. Maybe give me some help with that in the chat too. All right. Skew Raider. Always wanted a Chester Cheetah figure. Yep. I mean, again, it's unbelievable that they're making them, but I'm not upset about it. I think it looks great. Yub to Yub Nubs. Yeah, man, I don't know what it is about the Black Series when it comes to Ewoks. They just crush it. And I think part of it is because they're so small, I don't expect as much out of them. And that's not a dig at the Black Series team. I'm sure every time I open my mouth, I feel like I'm saying something that somebody's going to take as a dig. And that wasn't meant to be that way. But like, I don't know how they could improve on the Ewoks, is kind of what I meant to say. When I got Wicket, even though he was 25 bucks, I looked at that and I'm like, I'm never going to need another Wicket because no one's ever going to make a Wicket that's better than this. And normally I get that feeling when it comes to Mothx figures. But yeah, man, that Wicket's awesome. And because my family always wants to get me stuff for Christmas, which as all families want to get their relatives, I always make sure to put some stuff that's fairly easy to find on there. So I gave them Poplu, the Holiday Ewok, because again, the Yub Nubs are where it's at, and Chopper, because Chopper's just hilarious when it comes to Black Series. So what do we have now? Not too stoked on mascots, but the figs look great. Comes up with some great stuff. Man, Spaded One, you are not wrong. I love just getting on Instagram and seeing what everybody's doing. That stuff, it's amazing what people come up with. I like to think I've got a decent imagination, but when I get online and see some of the stuff that other people are coming up with, like some of my favorite shots, and I'm sure many of you have seen these, are when they've got action figures playing basketball against one another. I always crack up when I'm seeing those. Those are just great. And it's stuff that, like Darth Vader's in those shots. I never would have expected to see Darth Vader in those shots. They're perfect. And then I sit there and I lament the fact that I didn't come up with that. Let's see, only certain ones. Maybe a Kool-Aid. Oh my God, a Kool-Aid man? Oh, yeah. They would need, okay, so one of the things I'm really stoked about that's coming out is the Musk from Ramen Toys. Like, I'm actually saving up so I can get that thing because that's going to help with a lot of photos, I think, anyway. And they've got a little tiny wall that breaks away. And that's the first thing I thought about when you said Kool-Aid Man, but it's not quite big enough. I wonder. Ooh, maybe that's something. Maybe I need to just get a piece of cardboard and cut away a little bit of a wall and buy some of those bricks off Etsy and make it look like he just smashed through it. And then he could hang out with Chester Cheetah and Slacker, and they could all enjoy Cheetos and Kool-Aid and whatever Slacker's bringing to the party. Oh, man. Let's see. Do you have any SH Figuarts? Bully, I have some Star Wars SH Figuarts figures. I have the Mandalorian Luke Skywalker. I have the Jedi Darth Vader. Let's see. What else? I have the second season Mando with Grogu, and I have the Book of Boba Fett. So I went Star Wars with SHF, and now I'm not so sure with some of those. The one thing I have to say is with Mothx, a lot of times I buy the figure and it is absolutely the perfect version I'll ever need of that figure, minus Thor and Jean Grey. Their Thor's a little short and their Jean Grey, I don't know, very weird up in the shoulder section. But SHF, there's always one little thing that just bugs me a little bit. Like with their Darth Vader, there's the plastic skirt. And man, if that were cloth, I would never, ever buy another Darth Vader. That thing would be remarkable. But it's just those tiny little things. So SHF is really good. I just haven't bought anything yet that I look at and I think, man, that's the perfect version of that figure or of that character. But yeah, I'm not disappointed. And I want to try getting into a few more of the anime properties because everybody's always taking such cool figures of those, like maybe One Piece or Demon Slayer or Dragon Ball, and just see what happens. Kamen Rider, like if you guys watch The Amazing, you see how stoked he is about Kamen Rider, and man, does he take good pictures. So I don't know. I'd like to expand into all that stuff, but not yet. Time will come, but not quite yet. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Loving the Musk. Yep. Skew Raider. Good man. Good man. I have not really looked that much when it comes to the A-Team van. I mean, I know it's out there and I paid some attention, but it's just not one of those things that just not based on the property. I remember A-Team. I enjoyed A-Team, but I'm not sure I need it, you know? Like I felt like one of the things that kind of put me off with McFarlane, as much as I keep hoping they're turning a corner, is when they came out with that 89 Batmobile and it had the gray canopy. Like I was so stoked to get that Batmobile, but then I was never on Amazon in time to pre-order it. And then when people started getting it and it was that gray canopy, I'm like, oh guys, QC. But that's a vehicle I would have liked. In fact, I just did a recent video on what my dream projects would be. And one of them is a Medicom Mafex 89 Batmobile. Would it be pricey? Oh, yeah. There goes more of that Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah. But it would be perfect. And I'd be a big fan. I wouldn't even need the Keaton Batman, although if they did that, I'd definitely get him. I'd just throw my Hush Batman in there and be super stoked about it. Let's see. Oh man, yep. Ninja Scroll. Yeah. Custom Mr. T. Ooh. Ooh, the Ramen Racer, man. That is a beautiful car. See, I would like to get into more vehicles, but I'm in an apartment. Space is a bit of an issue. Okay, it's more than a bit of an issue. So I've got to really cherry pick. One of the vehicles that's really been exciting to me as of late is the Super 7 Party Wagon, which is crazy. I'm not a Super 7 guy at all. I don't have anything that's Super 7, though I like toy designs and comic designs more than cartoon designs. So I keep eyeing some Super 7 Turtles, for instance. But that Party Wagon, that just looks fun. But yeah, probably not in the cards. But I do keep looking at it going, this just looks like a fun vehicle. Regardless of price, regardless of anything else, looking at it, it looks like it'd be a blast. And yes, my Mirage Turtles would totally be driving it because I'm good with mixing things up like that. Let's see. Underground Arsenal Turtle. Oh, yeah, I did. I did. And that's one thing I appreciate what Underground Arsenal did. I appreciate what NECA did as far as the party wagon's concerned. But again, I'm just not that animation guy. I liked the toys way back when, and I liked the comics. And the party wagon from Super 7 just kind of floats that boat a little bit more. I'm curious about what NECA's going to do when it comes to the VW bus that they're going to eventually have to make for the Mirage line. I am. We'll see. But right now, I keep thinking, man, it would be good to mix in some toy looking turtles from Super 7 with some comic book looking turtles from NECA just to see what kind of craziness I could get into. Like the Super 7 Wingnut and Screw Loose, I keep looking at going, that looks fun. And Gorilla. Like I have this saved on here so I could share the screen if I could figure it out. But Gorilla, I mean, guys, giant monkey. That's the coolest thing. Remember, I brought up Cygor earlier in the stream. There's something about those giant monkeys that crack me up. And yes, I know gorillas aren't technically monkeys, but monkey is a far funnier word than gorilla. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Price is lower. Quality is pretty high. Let's see. Man, yeah, that's one thing. If like I've got the Entertainment Earth affiliate thing that I can use, so if it showed up in Entertainment Earth and I could get it for 10% off, plus it went on sale, I'd definitely consider it. We'd see where we were going with that. Because again, just looks like fun. Oh man, things are going now. Oh God, dog, you are not lying, man. I need some more A New Hope figures. You know what I really need from SH Figuarts are some of those Empire Strikes Back figures that they showed off, the prototypes. One of my absolute favorite characters in all of Star Wars, and this was true even when I was a kid, because remember, well, you might not know, you might be hearing this for the first time. I didn't like Muppets, or no, I liked Muppets as a kid, but I didn't like Sesame Street. Muppets, awesome. Sesame Street, who would watch this? So when it came to The Empire Strikes Back and Yoda shows up, I had no predetermined notions for the fact that that voice was Fozzie Bear. For me, that voice has always been Yoda. And Yoda is one of my absolute favorites. I would love it if SHF came out with a figure that was that prototype, because who doesn't love Yoda? All right, where are we at here? The HasLab. You know what, Bully? I did not order the giant man. I know. But here's the deal. So I got sick over the summer, and what I found out was that I have a gluten intolerance, and that sucked, but I took care of that pretty quick. And fortunately, I've never been a bread guy, but I do like bread as a delivery system, such as on pizza and on burgers. So that kind of sucks. But aside from that, it's not like I was eating rolls and all that. So basically, if there should be anyone in the world with a gluten intolerance, it's probably me. But I found that out in the summer. And then later on, I ended up with pneumonia. And I worked for myself trying to get a lot of freelance gigs. So that stuff dried up because I couldn't promote myself because the docs kept saying, sit on the couch, which not a whole lot of fun. I'm kind of out there. I like to move a lot. So I was on the couch, not looking for work. And so that really slowed down my collecting for the latter half of the year. But things are going to start to pick up. I'm actually working on the resume and all that stuff right now. So things will be picking up here pretty soon. And I'll be able to make that correction in 2024 for sure. Now, let's see. Memory Toys, Mr. G line. Oh, is Mr. G the one, the gorilla? I mean, I assume so since I was talking gorillas, where he's in, let's see, the one I'm remembering right now is kind of the gi, like the karate outfit. I thought that was sweet. Like, I'm serious. It's one of those things. Like, when I'm talking to my friends, I might throw out just the line, monkeys are funny. Or, hey guys, just remember, monkeys are funny, just because that's something I've always believed. I found, and once this live stream is over, look up on YouTube. I keep adjusting these. Good times. Look up on YouTube drunk monkeys. And what you'll discover is some monkeys that are on this island that people vacation on. And they just always run up and they steal the people's drinks. And then you start to see some monkeys kind of getting real tipsy. The narrator is talking about how some of the monkeys are teetotalers while some just get hammered. It's kind of funny. It cracks me up. But yeah, that video, one of the reasons monkeys are always funny. Now, where we at? Ah, yeah, gorillas galore. What else was there? What else was the one, Skew Raider? Like, I'm remembering the one that's dressed up as the karate fighter, but there were three of them, weren't there? No, trying to figure all that out, trying to remember what's up. Let's see, who do we have here? So I want to show off here in case you guys haven't seen him. Now, I know we've talked about Jado a little bit here, but this figure came to me in perfect condition. And as much as I'm liking Chun-Li and Fei Long, I got the Fei Long from the first wave that came out where his abdomen, like his diaphragm movement, was a little tight. So I might need another one of him. And the Chun-Li I got, her regular portrait, her regular face, came out really loose on the neck joint. So I need to work on maybe just putting some putty up there. Like, that's not a big deal. Everything else about those figures, absolutely awesome. But Ryu here came out absolutely perfect. And if we're talking my top 10 of below 20 or below $50, Ryu might be there. So yeah, like I said, the Jada Street Fighter stuff, it's just good. Now, let's see. Drink stealing monkeys. Oh, you're not kidding, man. The Plunderlings would be all over that. Prisoner karate policeman. Doing shorts chilling. Man, I wonder, I'm not sure I've seen the policeman. The others sound familiar. I don't know. Oh, how many of you guys, because I know a lot of people haven't been able to do this, how many of you have been able to pick up the NECA Mirage Studios Turtles? Because I was watching something and I swear I heard Randy say that for those who missed it, they're going to re-release them. I don't know if it's just going to be at Target or if it's going to be elsewhere. I don't remember that part. But it sounds like if you missed them the first time, you're going to be able to get them the second time. And those are ones that I hugely dig as well. Yeah, these are my only NECA figures. This is 4 pack of turtles, but they've got me convinced that I need to really load up on the Mirage turtles. Good stuff. Makes me happy, but I don't know how to grade them. Like they came in a box that was 150 bucks. So technically, if you divide that by 4, they're all figures that are under 50 bucks, but you couldn't get them for that. You had to spend the 150. So they might kind of be in an area all their own with the top 10, but I'm having so much fun in them with them. I feel like I have to put them in that video somewhere. So we'll see what goes on. Let's see. It's got the Jada Chun-Li. Oh yeah, man. That Jada Chun-Li, like the way the torso works, mm, I wish everybody were taking cues, at least the domestic companies were taking lessons from Jada. I hope that what's going on is somewhere in all those other companies in their boardrooms. Forget that. They're not doing any of that in their boardrooms. But I hope what's going on is like people are out picking up all these, doing their research, saying, okay, how did they do this? I do wonder how much of that stuff is proprietary. Like, is Jada doing something that they patented now that maybe, say, a company like Hasbro or Mattel can't do because Jada's patented this kind of maybe millimeter of articulation that now others can't do? I can't imagine that's the case, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's see. Movie Turtles. Oh man. Yeah, I keep hearing that the movie Turtles are the absolute perfect turtles that NECA's ever done. And so I'm curious. I might end up one day, it's going to be a bit, but I might end up picking just the four brothers up just to see, since everybody says how great they are. Might grab them just to see, but we'll see what happens. It's something also I'm considering for when they do the Ultimates cartoon version. The cartoon, it was fine. I mean, I watched it a lot growing up, but once I grabbed the comics and started reading those, what cartoon? It's basically how my brain worked even back then. Clearly, I was sick in the head. Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true, Skew Raider. I did see that with the Musk. I'm gonna get the more realistic looking one because I feel like the comic turtles skew more realistic when it comes to the Mirage line anyway. On the other hand, maybe things like the Archie line, if I were to get into that, would skew more cartoony. So I don't know, but it would probably be Mirage, then maybe Last Ronin. The last video I did, I talked a little bit about how I would break this down once I'm able to expand into other lines. Mirage Turtles, that's my turtles right now. But if I were to expand into other NECA Turtles lines, it would be Last Ronin and Archie. So the prudent thing to do would be, for me anyway, to get the more realistic looking one. Plus, that's going to work a lot better with everything else I've got: Batman, Spider Man, all the other figures that would work in a sewer and street level type stuff. Basically, the Musk is the perfect dio as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. Let's see. Never liked the 80s cartoon turtles. Love Mirage. Man, Matthew Matson, my friend, I will say this. I read IDW up till around, I think it was just after they saved Venus. And by the way, I know everybody wants to throw shade at Venus or whatever. I didn't stop because Venus showed up. I just kind of decided, I don't need this app anymore. So I just haven't read any more of that line or that run since then. I want to. I want to get back into it because I thought the IDW run was great. Now, the 2012 Turtles cartoon, I haven't really done much with. Like, I don't know that I've seen it. What streaming service is it on? Or is it on something like a Freevee or something like that? Which I guess is also a streaming service. I'm just not sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. There were no Venus appearances in that. I think Venus showed up around 125. But man, they did my boy Slash dirty. I thought Slash was awesome. I love the relationship between Mikey and Slash. I thought that was great. But yeah, can you imagine if now I know Best Action has the IDW line right now, but imagine if Super 7 or NECA got a hold of that. Imagine the size of Slash. That thing would be a beast, and I pretty much have to get him. I might even be looking at Best Action and thinking, I wonder if I have to get that. I don't know, but I can clearly my throat's no good here, so I'm going to take a swig. That's right. In case you thought it was just red shirts, it's red Yetis as well. Let's see, Netflix. Oh, okay. I did see, I started watching, I saw the Rise of the TMNT movie. I thought that was pretty good, but I also started watching the Turtle show that predated that, and I wasn't such a fan. I thought it was too, I don't know. I mean, it should be made for kids, but I felt like it was too kiddified. Like when I look at the cartoons that were out when I was a kid, and probably when many of you were a kid, were kids, it seemed to kind of the storylines seemed a little more serious, like the interactions seemed a little more serious. The plots were all over the place. It was always kind of a dumb plot, and characters did all kinds of dumb things, but it didn't seem as silly. And I don't mind silly in Turtles. It's just it felt a little too silly to me. We'll see though. I don't know. That's just an opinion. Other people might think totally differently. Let's see. Ooh, Slash. Yes, Q-Rater. What do you think? You think it's going to be Best Action? You think they're going to do it? Because, man, yeah, I'm going to be a big fan no matter what they do. No matter who comes up with what, I'll be a fan. Let's see. That's okay, Bully. I appreciate you dropping by, man. And don't worry, I will be there at some point. Folks, the Fat DeLoreans asked me to get in on a live stream in December at some point. So I'll be on another one of those that you'll be able to check out. It's going to be kind of, it sounds like it's going to be discussing some of our top figure picks of the year. So check that out. And I'll be sure to announce it whenever I find out the date and all that good stuff. Let's see. Oh, Usagi Yojimbo, eh? Matthew, the 2012 series has the best Usagi Yojimbo crossover. It's a fun show that has some very deep plots, good for kids and adults. See, that's the kind of stuff I dig. It's kind of like Animaniacs. Yes, Animaniacs was silly, but that was kind of the point. But when I watch it now, I'm like, oh, look at all that stuff that went right over my head. Makes me happy. So yeah, I might have to check that 2012 out. Let's see, go for it. Skew Raider, as long as they go for it, it'll be a good Slash. The three companies you named. Yep, yep, all of them. All of them would do a good job. Now, I don't know how the Turtles licensing works. My assumption is it doesn't cost a lot to get the Turtles license because so many companies are making them now. But yeah, if Super 7 or NECA, I don't know. I want to see more from Best Action. I feel like the IDW Turtles that they came out around San Diego time, I feel like those are a huge step in the right direction. So if they can keep improving to that level, like take it to the next step with the joints and everything, maybe they're going to be a company that I start taking a lot more seriously. We'll have to see. Okay, what else do we have here that we can talk about as far as figures? Since I can't share screens and all, oh, here we go. This is one that was a big surprise to me. So I picked up this Black Widow from Marvel Legends, and I also got the Model 1 Iron Man. And I think the Model 1 Iron Man's pretty good, but I'm not sure he's long for the collection. He might end up getting sold. This Black Widow, however, she's going to stick around. She's awesome. And the worst part is about her, as much as I like her, the fact that there's still no ball joints at the waist. If there was a ball joint there, I would never need another Black Widow action figure. But that's kind of how Hasbro does things. It seems like they don't want to give you the perfect figure so that they can give you an upgrade later on down the line. And that's not shade at the marketing team or the design guys or anything. That's just how Hasbro works when it comes to their marketing. Whereas other places, such as Metacom, tries to get you the very best version they can do out the gate. I prefer that approach, but I understand why Hasbro does this approach. Still, the head sculpts on this, if you guys don't have her, pick her up. She's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, man. That Black Widow, she is as definitive as we can find right now. once one comes out with, and if it looks that good, and it comes out with a ball jointed waist, I will pick her up. That'll be the way to go. But yeah, there we go, guys. It's been about an hour, and since I haven't been able to figure out, anyway, words again. Since I haven't been able to figure out all the stuff I wanted to do, including pulling up your chats and everything, I think I'm gonna get out of here and just tell y'all how much I appreciate you coming in for that chat for this first live stream. Let's see. Mayfex just needs, sorry, as I was saying goodbye, we got more comments here from Liquid Below Zero. They'll do Winter Soldier version. Oh, man. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. I tend to stay away from movie figures, but one idea I had today, stupid idea, but I saw a review of the Mafex Pattinson Batman, and I'm like, what if I got an Affleck Batman, a Pattinson Batman, and a Bale Batman, since they've all got their regular heads that you can put on them, like so you can see the actors, and then just a silly idea here. You bring in the Hush Batman as the actual consultant on the Batman movies, like the real Batman talking to the actors playing Batman. I just thought that'd be fun. Anyway, guys, that's what I got. Thank you very much, everybody, for stopping by and checking out the stream. Much appreciated. And now I'm going to get out of here, and hopefully next time I'll learn how to do this stuff. So until next time, thanks again. Have fun. Happy snapping, everybody. See ya.